Welcome back to Hardball. Nearly half of the states have now rejected a request from President Trump's Voter Fraud Commission asking them to provide information on their registered voters. The vice chairman of that commission, that's Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, he wrote a letter to election officials in all 50 states. He asked for the names of voters, their addresses, dates of birth, political party registration, as well as the last 4 digits of their social security numbers. The commission also requested their voting histories. In an interview with MSNBC, Kobach defended the request.
This is publicly available information. The commission is only requesting what any person on the street in California can walk into a county election office and get. Why not look at the data? It's publicly available data, and put the cards on the table and show the American public how significant the issue is. It's just fact-finding.
But state officials from both parties are already voicing their concern.
There's no reason to provide this data. Again, we don't know why they want this. There's information that's publicly available. We operate an excellent election system here in Rhode Island. It's fair, it's efficient, it's accurate, and there's no evidence of widespread fraud. So, we're not going to comply with this. And as I say, I'm alarmed that they're even asking for it.
By and large, I would be very hesitant to send out voter data that's available here in Arkansas into a national database.
And here's how Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders responded in an off-camera briefing today.
I think that that's mostly a political stunt. This is a commission that's asking for publicly available data, and the fact that these governors wouldn't be willing to turn that over. This is something that's been part of the commission's discussion, which has bipartisan support, and none of the members raised any concern whatsoever.
That's it. Kobach's own state of Kansas is not handing over all of its voter data. Kansas will not be sharing the Social Security information that the commission is requesting. It's not publicly available information, they say. I'm joined now by Advancement Project co-director Judith Browne Dianis. Thanks for joining us. Well, let me ask you so Kansas says they got an issue with the Social Security numbers, the last 4 digits of the Social Security. They're not going to hand that over. But you heard Kobach there saying, basically, what I'm looking for here is publicly available information. You can walk into any election office. You can find out who's registered, what party, when the last election was they voted in. So is that true? And if that's true, what's the objection here?
Well, I mean, not so fast, right? Because even in his own state, he's the person who put out the letter requesting this information. And even in his own state, he figured out that he was asking for too much because the last 4 digits of Social Security number is not available. I mean, so here's the problem, is that, we have to look at this in a larger context. We are talking about people who are in place this is a setup for voter suppression. Who are the characters in this movie that we're watching? Chris Kobach is the architect of the playbook for Republicans on voter suppression. Then you've got Jeff Sessions, who said that the Voting Rights Act was an intrusion on states' rights, and he separately has sent out a request to the states. Then you have a former DOJ person who wants to make it harder to vote for everyone across the country. Part of this, effort to suppress the vote that is really about making it harder for people.
Let's talk specifically here then. So you do not trust the principles that are involved here. They're requesting this information. If they get this information, again, a lot of these states are saying no right now, but if they get this information specifically, then what are you fearing they do with it?
Well, I think what it's going to be used as, it's going to be used as a platform for them to try and go after not only the Voting Rights Act, but the National Voter Registration Act, which is the law that actually governs who gets on the rolls and who doesn't get on the rolls. And that really what they're after is trying to figure out a way to put in place a law to make it harder to get on the rolls and easier to get kicked off the rolls. That they are going to also use it to really harass people. We know that these are folks who are trying to go after the mythical voter fraud. But time and again, the Republican Party has tried to prove voter fraud, and they have come up short in every instance. But what they have done is in other instances, if they want to talk about voter integrity and making sure that our elections run well, then what they should be doing is investing in our systems and making sure that more people can participate easily.
All right, and we should point out that on this specific issue, though, right now it is bipartisan, the objection to this. You've got Republicans and Democrats out there saying they don't plan to share this information with Trump. Trump and his commission. Judith Browne Dianis from the Advancement Project. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.